I'm probably gonna be alone on this one, but I've never understood why people like this SUV. And I don't think it looks good on any angle, but I'm pretty sure most people like it because of this, and this. I borrowed this G-Wagon from Jerry Seiner Cadillac. It has 52,000 miles on it. Can you guess how much it costs today? It's a 2020 G63. You want to take a wild guess? Let's take a look. I got that footage about a month ago and it's already sold, but the pricing online is pretty close to the one in the video. As you heard, 52,000 miles. This one has 41, this one has 45,000. That one was priced at $157,000 and it has that matte paint on it too. And you guys can see some more pricing. This one has pretty decent miles at 173,000 and this one's 154 with 33,000. I'm willing to bet you this one probably has an accident at that price point, but let's get back to the video. Now I don't normally start with this, but I feel like I have to. This is the bi-turbo 4-liter V8, handcrafted signed by yours truly, Robert Damaska. Made in Germany. I don't know if I said that right now. I apologize if you watch this video, but this 4-liter puts out 577 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a 9-speed transmission. Let's check out the 0 to 60.
30.
Now, full disclosure, we're probably about 5,000 feet above sea level, so that's why the 0 to 60 probably didn't look as good as it does on paper. But I will admit to you guys, with this matte, it does look pretty cool. It looks kind of menacing. Now, I will say, Mercedes, quality on this brush guard is not that great because it's kind of rusting. So this has to be repainted at some point. But overall, the headlights held up pretty well. With 50,000 miles, I will admit, it's a nice SUV. Now, off to the side, let's check out these wheels. These are probably my favorite ones I've seen so far. They are wrapped in a Continental tire. And here's your tire size. 285/45, 22-inch wheel, independent front suspension. You guys can see some of your exhaust right there. You have these big brakes. Some of your badging on the side. You have your turn signals. Now, this isn't wrapped in this matte. I wonder if this was done aftermarket. It probably might be a manufacturer finish because I do know you can get them this way. You have your fixed running boards on the side. I still don't get it though. They do give you parking sensors on the side, front and rear, right there, which is good for pulling into your garage. Out back, I do like the restyle for those taillights too. I think 2020 is when they did redo this thing, and it looks good. Now when you pop the rear hatch, it does go off to the side. It's assisted there, and again, it's very small. Now, one thing I like about luxury vehicles, you see how they give you this carpet all the way up here? See, when you do put luggages back here or your groceries or anything, you normally scratch up all the hard plastic. Now this is all hard plastic. 115 volt in the back, and they give you some lights, top and bottom. And this is wrapped in leather, a little bit of carbon fiber, more carpet, as you see, but all this is hard plastic too. And closing it, that sounds good. You see how that door sounds? That sounds good. Oh, that sounds so good. That's one thing I like about it. Now let me go ahead and grab the key so you guys can hear the locking mechanism in the door. So this is a key. When you lock it, oh, actually it's already locked. It does close the mirrors, by the way, but you hear that? That is some heavy duty stuff, guys. That's why people buy these. Well, that's why I would buy it, because it's pretty overbuilt. I'm pretty sure most people have seen the whistling diesels videos on these things. I'm not impressed with the interior. You can kind of see that there's some wear and tear for 50,000 miles, but the seats are holding up perfectly. The seats are in great condition. I don't know if I'd buy one of these. I think that you have to be a specific buyer for this. This is a status symbol in my opinion. I don't want a status car. They are nice, but I just don't think it's me. Now before I drive it, let me just show you guys the second row. Let's see if I can fit back there behind myself. I really do like the door locks on this. It does have these screens in the rear. Love the lime green stitching, by the way. But sitting behind myself, this is tight. This is really tight. No panoramic sunroof. They do give you a suede roof though. But yeah, this is way too small for me. My wife has an LX600 and it too is kind of small in the second row. And it's because of the wheelbase of these. These are for going off-road. And so you do lose that interior space because of what they're built for. Here's some of your drive modes here. I'm gonna put it in Sport Plus. And it does change the tone of the exhaust. Kind of starts popping a little bit. You guys already saw the 0 to 60, but I want to see just how it feels on the road. So putting it in drive, you go down like this. It's pretty easy to learn actually. I'm actually shocked. I never liked Mercedes in the past because I always felt like I was, you know, like 80 years old trying to figure out how to drive a car seriously. But this one is not too bad. It is pretty nimble, and I like how straight up the glass is inside of here too. They did replace this, by the way, and they replaced it with a Mercedes one too. So good on Jerry Seiner for not cheaping out, because some dealerships would just, well, maybe there's not a, you know, generic one for these. Now your audio controls, you want to turn down the exhaust. Oh yeah, there's a button right there for your exhaust too. It's pretty cool. I really do like the way this drives. For an off-road SUV, it performs better than I expected. This is my first time actually driving something like this. You guys saw the 0 to 60 on this thing. It doesn't take off like you probably would like for it to at this higher elevation. But under 5 seconds for an SUV is still incredible. I mean, this is a brick going through the wind too, by the way. But when you're just kind of cruising around town, I mean, you have that low end torque. When you hear that V8, it's just insane. Like, it holds the gears for the sport mode. I don't need sport mode anymore, so I'm gonna put it in comfort. But even in comfort, I mean, it just takes off. Like, it is no joke. Like, this is ridiculous. And it's still holding the gears for you too. So it kind of knows, like, I need to hold it just in case you need to get over, you need to pass someone. Yeah, it does perform well. Now, here's some of your controls down below here. I think it did turn off my exhaust. I want my exhaust on though. I think that sounded really good. So we're gonna keep that on. But the steering wheel has the carbon fiber up here. You can see that this Alcantara has kind of seen better days. But yeah, visibility is surprisingly decent because it's not that big of an SUV anyways, right? But it's pretty quiet. Like, when you're not under acceleration, you don't really hear anything on the outside. Pretty sure it's easy to park this thing. I'm gonna show you guys one more acceleration, then we'll pretty much be done. So when you're just cruising along, right? I'm going, what's that? 50 miles an hour? You know, just regular SUV. You can hear a little bit of that exhaust. I still have the valves open, but if I need to go, like, this thing is no joke. It is no joke. It just drops down. There is a little bit of delay in that 9-speed transmission, just a little bit. But you want a little bit of delay sometimes, right? But when you do drop down, it dropped down to what, third? I can't remember what gear it dropped down to. I wasn't looking down, but it's so quick to respond once it goes. Like, that V8, it's just, whew, we're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss that sound. We're gonna miss all of it. They're not doing it anymore after 2024, right? They're done. So unfortunately, you have to go with the twin turbo V6s, so you're not gonna have the sound, and you're not gonna have that brute force anymore. And I don't know why the manufacturer allowed the government to dictate this, because people who can afford these types of vehicles, they don't want a 6-cylinder. I feel as though this is what I would want to get if I wanted something fast. and I still needed space for some stuff like my golf clubs or luggage to go traveling, things like that. But I will admit, even though this is fun and very cool, this ain't me. This is really a status vehicle, and I don't know if I could buy something like this and be happy, because you get looked at in this thing for sure, but it's just too much vehicle for me, I'll be honest. I like my American cars and I do like my Toyotas. That's what I like, and that's what I'm gonna keep buying. I would get a Lamborghini Urge before I got this though. If I had the money to actually afford something like this, because I cannot afford this. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you guys. Like, this is way out of my price point of cars. It's not because of the price point. I could obviously finance it and afford it, but it's just the value, because how much money you're gonna lose owning something like this. But on top of that, it's the maintenance, it's the potential repair costs. Those things make this unaffordable for me, because I buy things that if something breaks, I can still afford to fix it. I don't think I can fix this if it broke. And add to that, there is no more bumper-to-bumper warranty. It really does put it out of reach for someone like me. But I'm not saying you'll ever have issues with it, because this thing could be the most reliable car on the market today. But when these things are priced out over $200,000, I don't think I can take that risk. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. See you soon.